Senior, but I'm ready to make moves here. My hat's up. I don't know what side this is on, my hat. Did I ever tell you about the first time I used a MRE heater, Chris? The the guy who was showing me how to use it said that they get hotter than crazy. And I don't know if you've been outside lately, but it is hotter than crazy. And Brian Duncan's even sending super chats already. You guys don't know this, but you know what? I'm not even going to try to play like I'm not live because I am live. So, a couple of things happened today. One is I'm still on really low speed. Two, Brian Duncan, who is totally inspirational, came by the shop today, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Brian just had surgery, and he's like, I gotta get out of the house. So he came down to the shop, and it's not a close drive. So he came down to the shop and hung out with us for a little while. And so for if you guys feel under the weather like I do, and you want to be embarrassed like I am, go to over to Brian's house and watch how much moving around he's doing like immediately after surgery. So it was great to see Brian, and thank you for the super chat, sir. The other things that I want to talk about is I forgot to tell you guys about this last night. There was a young man who came by the shop on Wednesday night named Jacob, and he is a guitar. He's interested in building guitars, and he's building his own stuff, and he wants to build more. And he reminded me of somebody who wears a hat and a black T-shirt.
I don't have
And Dastardly Dave said that Brian made him do it. Thank you, Dave. And
how old was this young man?
And J Van B sent us a smiley face and said YouTube said to send this. So Jacob was 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I was
13.
Yep. He doesn't look like I think 13-year-old kids look. And I remember when I was 13, and I was just gonna vamp while you were doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I went to a guitar shop. This is all an Uncle Matt story. But I went to a guitar shop, and I told Jacob as many things as I could remember from my very first visit to a guitar shop, in the hopes that in 40 years he will tell another 13-year-old budding guitar builder all the stuff that I told him. And I gave him some templates, and I gave him some lumber, and I gave him some paper, and I said, go forth and multiply and multiply your number of guitars.
Mm-hmm.
And
pretty much gave him homework.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see what he comes up with. So anyway. Doug Seidlitz sent us a super chat and says, ad free. Please note, I am not blaming Brian, as he is a gentleman and angel who never does anything wrong. Well, Doug, Brian brought over a bunch of donuts today, and I ate one of them, and it was like super, super sugary. So,
You know what else it was?
4th of July.
Super tasty.
Oh, yeah. They are good. So, Chris, how are you?
That's why they call them donuts.
What would they call them if they weren't tasty?
Broccoli, cauliflower, vegetables. Yeah, you want some vegetables? Crispy cream vegetables.
They'd be out of business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
What do you got there? A daiquiri?
No, this glass is the biggest glass that fits in my it's a mixer glass.
Okay.
But I just have seltzer in it. But it's the biggest glass that fits in my cup holder in my car.
Okay.
So I use this, and I've tried to find other things, but either get really big and stupid and tilty, or this thing. I like this thing.
So anyway, gang, we've got some stuff to show you tonight, but we're also going to focus on Dylan's guitar, which, if you know, you know which one it is. And do you want to show anything before we do that, or you want to do that one first?
Do you want to show the thing I'm working on today?
Sure, the one that I'm glad I wore a black t-shirt today.
Well, it's
This
going to
was
work out for you.
well, in this one it will, yeah. What
So
do you
this
got
one
there?
I've been assembling today.
Okay.
Why don't you talk about it?
Because I'm
Because you don't want to.
no, that's not it.
So this is Icon, um, mahogany back and sides, mahogany neck, and it's got a black limba top.
I think that's cool. What do you think,
I think
sir?
so too. Yeah, it's really cool. We were pretty sure it was going to be cool, and then as we marched it along and got it into pore filler and sealer,
Yeah.
we confirmed it. It's
I
cool.
love that. I how do you feel? Where do you come down on like the maple top versus the kind
Well,
of
I like them all.
yeah.
So there hasn't been one that we've done that I went, "Hmm, okay."
Now I have put up this guy with a similar pickup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
In
both
fact,
of
it's the
these
same
have
pickup,
that,
right?
yeah, Benedetto Jazz pickup
Okay,
in
now
it.
these are made by Seymour Duncan, right?
Uh-huh.
Come on
Yeah,
now.
it's Alnico 5.
Okay.
Pretty neat little pickup, actually, I think. Yep.
Chris Hendricks sent us a super chat. Brian's reach is expanding, also for inspiring the next generation of builders. I hope that I do, Chris. I don't know if I mean, I guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope that I think giving back is a cool thing to do because I'm not going to be here for forever.
No.
That's just we just okay. So same pickups, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of
This one, so I'm not going to set it down.
Chris? What do you think of this pickup and this guitar? And what do you guys think of this pickup? The same pickup and these guitars here. I would like to hear your thoughts on those.
So this reminds me of I don't know, a little bit more of an Americana kind of a thing with the
The
wood and
the
all.
wood end pickup or just the
Well, mostly the wood, but the pickup
okay.
too. I mean, I think this pickup fits this guitar really well because it's so much wood.
Do you
It's
think that
all about the wood.
do you think the pickup in the one you're holding, Chris, goes better with that one than this one?
Yes,
Or okay.
I do.
Okay.
Luckily, I know how to swap them out.
Yeah.
So
But
we decide we want to put something else in that one. I like the chrome pickup in the
the
maple
I
tops,
do too. I think that's
although I
cool.
don't mind this pickup either. Once again, haven't done one that I hate yet.
Yeah, I mean the pickup aesthetic is the only thing that's because this is a Seymour Duncan
Yeah,
jazz pickup,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I think that's almost what it is. You start reading about it and it reads very much like their, yeah, Alnico 5 jazz pickup.
What's the deal with the cover though?
It's rosewood, right?
Or it's actual wood.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Is it ebony or is it?
It might be ebony.
I think it might be ebony,
It might
sir.
be something stained black. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it could be.
I can't tell.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
Doug says the Limba has a perfect amount of figure. I'm gonna look in the screen. It's really cool. And check out like that stripedy thing
Mhm.
down the middle.
And
That's
it
neat.
almost looks like the neck just keeps going. If you didn't
It
know any
does
better,
kind of,
it looks
doesn't
like
it?
you'd be like,
Yeah.
"Is that a neck through?"
Hey,
So,
Kiki's here.
no, good.
Um,
Yeah, so this thing's almost finished. I got to put the tailpiece on and the bridge and all of that, but it's all wired up and ready to go that way. So
yeah, that's neat.
so this thing will be finished up early next week.
That'll be available for sale because that's not for anybody.
No, this one's at large.
Oh, that's gonna be a cool one.
Yep.
One
So,
day I'm gonna keep one, Chris.
uh-huh.
One day.
One day.
So
So we have a bunch of icons getting
yeah,
getting finished up,
yeah, we do.
painted and
And a bunch of challengers too, right?
yeah, uh-huh. Yeah.
You know what
Yep.
else we have getting finished up?
Seal Beach Mike's guitar.
That's right. And he's here right now. And I was hoping that he would be here so that I could show him his Billybo Jupiter jet before it gets because it's
Before
ready
it goes
for
into pour filler and sealer
yeah,
and paint.
yeah, it's got to get like some 220,
Oh, yeah.
like scratchy removey.
Uh-huh.
And then I can't remember exactly what this is getting, but I think it's getting
It's all written down. I knew it at one point.
Like a red
Yeah,
top,
I think
right?
it's getting a red
With reveal binding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the way I remember natural on the back. Um, yeah, yeah, classic
Yeah.
Billy Gibbons, Billybo.
So this is
Almost said
mahogany.
Dilly Bar. Classic Billy Gibbons Dilly Bar.
Dilly
Just
Dilly
for
Gibbons
you.
Dilly. So yeah, mahogany back and mahogany neck and maple top. And it's I don't know if you guys don't know this, but it's hollow all the way
It
here and
is.
all the way here. Like
Yeah.
this thing is,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So Mike, I said, hey Mike, where do you want the jack?
Uh-huh.
And so he sent me a picture and he said, by the way, we're in agreement that it doesn't need a pick guard with the silly knob on the pick guard, right? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. We
Yeah,
don't.
no. This
Yeah.
is yeah. So we're putting in the exhaust port, right? The exhaust port jack.
It's where he said to it's
Yep,
there,
that's the exhaust port jack.
which is where the pickup or I'm sorry, the picture. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
He sent me a picture and said that's where it's
Okay,
to
yeah,
go. So
yeah, that's
yeah,
usually where we put them. Yeah, yep, somewhere in there.
I like these guitars a lot. I think they're super
I
cool.
think they're neat too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay. So
I think I have fleas.
Mike, your guitar is moving right along. And normally I don't like to show off guitars in progress, but Mike sent me a thing and he's like, "Hey man, I'm loving the icons and I love the thing, can't wait to get my my Billy Bow." And I said, I'm actually pressing frets into that one this week. Do you want me to send you some pictures? And he's you know what he said? I don't sweat it. I don't need to see that stuff. And I'm like, if people call and like start hassling me for pictures,
Mhm.
then I don't want to do it. But
Right.
if they say, no, I don't really need this, then I'm like, okay, now we can.
All
I
right.
don't know what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's that's
Well,
a
you're gonna see it,
it's
mister.
a no, it wasn't. I didn't mean it like that, but it just was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's my uh, counter
Hmm.
attitude. Okay, well, so without further ado, Chris, let's change into white t-shirts and show off Dylan's guitar. I think you should take your shirt off to show it so that you can
Pass.
see. You can
Pass. I
see
think
it though.
everybody can see it just
Yeah, you
fine.
can see it. It's pretty. But if you want to take your shirt off,
So
you
this
can.
marks this is obviously an icon, but this marks two firsts in an icon.
Is Joey Dano just sent us a super chat and says ad free.
There you go.
Hi, Doug. I can't wait to see Doug. Did and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Chris, but
See, my white forehead shows off the white binding quite nicely.
Did you contact Joy because she wants to talk to you about some stuff? Okay, all right.
So this marks the first on two different things.
Mhm.
The first is obviously the Bigsby, which Dylan wanted, and the second is this is the first time we painted a solid
Yeah,
color
yeah.
on an icon, and this is intergalactic 73 finish, so it looks like leather.
It's cool, right?
Yep, it is. And then it's got a little bit of a bursty thing on the sides, and then all natural back and neck.
It's beautiful.
Got a little bit of a burst on the neck right there too.
Doug's having a great day. Sean Joint says it's
Black
badass.
headstock,
Oh yeah.
Hipshot tuners.
Do you call that burst that you did where it's like kind of like I
Mhm.
would maybe like how would you describe that? Like a vintagey kind of?
Yeah, I think so. I see a lot of vintage parlor guitars with that, a lot of Gibsons. Yeah, yeah.
I like the like where it can we angle so see how it kind of goes in
Uh-huh.
the
And I
waist
don't
there?
know, actually, I think I do know why what started that. If you have stress issues and fractures and things like that with bent sides, um,
Yeah, probably
you
probably.
can cover them up with that, and then and the places that are hard to sand, like around here, and volutes and stuff like that, around those, that's usually where you will end up with some burst stuff. And I think it's a way to cover up scratches and cover up
But
things.
after a while it just becomes a classic look, right? I
Mhm.
mean
Yeah,
that's
and
yeah.
then you have to cop that look no matter how you do it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah,
How you
whether you
bend
have
the guitar. Yeah, yeah. This
yeah.
guitar, yeah. We did that because of the classic look. And I thought, well, that looks cool. And talked to Dylan. He's like, yeah, it sounds good to me. So, oh, and then Enduro, Dylan wound his own pickup. Isn't that great?
Oh, that's that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. No, so Dylan sent us a pickup. It's one of his enduro pickups. Well, shit. Um,
Dylan says, Chris, he gave us one of the best compliments you can give. He said, that's exactly what I wanted.
yeah, good. And yeah, so enduro pickup sounds great. Played it yesterday.
Yeah. It's cool. What do you think of the Bigsby on
I
what do
think
you
it's pretty
think?
cool.
And what do you think?
Because they normally have a trapeze, which isn't that much different. This just looks like a whole lot of trapeze.
Can,
With a spoon
if you
on the
use
end.
can you like kind of mush the regular trapeze and get the same thing that Bigsby?
No, no, not
You're
really.
gonna have an
Because
almost.
that'll just, I mean, that would be like pulling up. You can't bend down.
Oh,
You could
yeah,
you could
you would
grab it.
have to.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah,
could push down on it and it'll tighten the strings. Yeah,
yeah,
beep,
yeah.
a little bit, but you can also do that at the nut.
Hmm.
So so yeah, it's cool and it's light.
How much? What do you think it
This
weighs in?
was all mahogany too, mahogany top, mahogany sides, mahogany back.
Isn't it funny? Like
This
the
guitar weighs 6 pounds.
like this mahogany one here.
Hmm.
They sound Brian, you're here. You can tell because Brian was here when we played them all acoustically because they're not electrics and they're not acoustics. They do sound different than when played acoustically than I mean, you guys know that if you played like 10 strats acoustically, one's going to sound a little different than the other, but these sound radically different. The soundboards on them are
Hmm.
different, whether you have
Yeah.
mahogany or
Hmm.
ash back and sides, or
Hmm.
you know.
Yep.
Um, O'Brien says he didn't leave any surprises,
No, we were going to.
or did we?
We didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. There's not really a whole lot of room to do a bunch of that stuff on these.
Hmm.
Control cavity is the cover is really small.
Yeah.
Everything's fairly packed in there. We could have written some dirty words
You
on
can
the
write some
back,
dirty words in the back.
but
Yeah.
yeah, no, there's no surprises in this one,
Can I
as
see
far
this
as I
guy
know.
for?
Yes.
Yeah, this is cool. We should get I what do you that yeah, I think the all mahogany is really neat.
Hmm.
It's like the
Hmm. Oh, also first white binding one. It's got white binding, not cream binding.
oh, that's right. That's
So
another thing we've
three
never done.
things.
Actually, Chris, four, because this one also has a black Kingwood fretboard. Look at that.
Mhm.
That's like that's a
Yeah,
hot setup.
yeah. With the blocks and everything, it really looks like ebony.
Yeah, I and we
Ebony, is that how you pronounce that?
we think this is the black the roasted granadillo,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Um Joy says, Dylan, your guitar may have the first photo shoot of its kind too. Now, I know what she's talking about. Well, I think I do, but I'm not going to spill the beans. Yeah. So get a load of that. And these frets, one of the only things that I do anymore is fret work. So
Well,
yeah, yeah. I was commiserating to Chris today that I'm no longer a guitar builder. I'm now a
that's that's not true,
fret
but
presser inner. So yeah,
you also get to sand a lot.
yeah, yeah. Dylan says he already has a matching knife too. I wonder if it's a buck 110.
Good. I was telling Brian, I think I was telling Brian, maybe I was telling Jim, that pickup looks really good in there. Wouldn't be surprised if that pickup goes away pretty fast because Dylan's been having so much fun with his new laser and making
Oh
all sorts of
yeah,
cool looking pickups.
yeah, Dylan. What are you
This
gonna do with
guitar
that?
may end up, yeah. I'm hoping for something in a pearl white.
It's got a bunch of white on it, so that'd be neat. Yeah,
Abalone. Yeah,
baloney.
something.
Um. Okay. Well, Chris, what else do we have to tell
I
people
think
about? Is
that's
that
it.
does that wrap us up for
Yeah, I think
today?
that wraps us up for
Okay.
today. There'll be a bunch of stuff next week. Oh, next week is yeah, 4th of July and all that fun stuff.
Oh,
We'll have
is
to
it?
figure out a schedule for that. Yeah,
Oh,
Thursday is 4th of July. Friday
I'm
is the last time I checked, 5th of July.
I'm not bummed out that it's Independence Day. I'm bummed out because it just so happens to coincide with the day that we normally do a video thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So we'll have to figure out
yeah.
what we want to do about that.
DC cabinet, I'm I apologize to you, my friend, and your bank account. He says he has to, he's gonna have to get one now. I
That's our
we
job.
we try to make cool stuff that you guys
At
and
least
hope that
some
you
people
like
say,
it.
yeah.
I mean, the idea is that we want to make stuff that we like,
Hmm.
and hopefully you guys like it too. So that's cool.
Yep.
Um, yes, Dan, you will see me Sunday. Um, though I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be able to show you guys, but maybe, just
You
maybe.
might, if you want to go grab it, you probably could.
No,
If you
well,
want
why
me
don't
to
we?
go grab it.
No, we could save it till
All right.
Sunday. I think that's okay, right?
I think so.
Okay. So yeah. Um, um, Mike says we're definitely succeeding in making cool stuff. DC Cabinet says you guys make such cool stuff. Pete, hi Pete. Um, Doc says a legacy of really cool stuff. So that's cool, man. I've been thinking a lot about like what that means, like what happens when you're gone? What do you leave? And unfortunately, most of the things that are really super important to me, to you will be in a landfill and in like not very long after we're
I
gone.
was I was talking to my dad about that one
Yeah.
day, and he did not like that idea one bit.
Hmm.
But it's not wrong.
No, I hope that you guys have people that you can pass these guitars on to and I hope that one day they're in like a cool book, or they're in, like, for example, okay, this is time for a dumb story. And this is really another Uncle Matt story, probably. But have you ever heard of Bozo guitars?
No.
Okay. Bozo guitars were is an acoustic guitar company, and they weren't like crazy looking or anything. They weren't like Bozo the Clown. Um, but lots of ornate inlay and like binding with abalone and mother of pearl and stuff. And I've always wondered, like, I've seen them in books. Bozo guitars. I had no idea what they were. I remember talking with John Reuter at Roberto Van about it. I'm like, Bozo guitars, what's up with that? And he's like, there are whole cities in Mexico, or whole cities. There's whole towns in Mexico where people, like, everybody there builds guitars, or everybody there builds, I don't know, makes pottery, or everybody there is involved in the same trade. And maybe it's something like that. Well, I didn't forget that. But I remember I was with Joy and I was in Chicago, and I was at a place called Cut 152, a really neat steak place. And there was a guy there who was he was like a volunteer stage hand backstage guy at the Rialto Theater, which is a really neat old school theater place. And he was I for some reason or other, Bozo guitars came up. Actually, Bozo guitars are from Chicago. Again, not like Bozo the Clown, which was, if you got WGN, the Bozo show. But there was a guy in Chicago who made those guitars. I'm sure he's long gone now.
Hmm.
If you guys know anything about Bozo guitar, I'm not like I'm the Bozo guitars historian, but I'm intrigued by that. For some reason, I've never known anything about him, but I've seen him in books, and I wonder if one day, well, there probably won't be books one day, but one day, if Texas Toast Guitars will be in a book, and someone will go,
Hmm.
wonder what was up with that. There's this crazy name of this guitar outfit, and who knows? And here's a picture of one.
Hmm.
And that'll probably just be that. And it'll be this mystery that we just won't know about.
Yeah.
Or we will, but
Yeah. Well,
future people might not know about
yeah. You should we should write it all down and probably embellish quite a bit.
it.
Flat out lie during some of it.
I think so. So many things that have happened to me are sound sound like I'm making it up, but yeah, I'm gonna try to immortalize some of this stuff in a new video series that I've got called Uncle Matt Stories, and that stuff like that will be in it. And I think it's just going to be me telling fun stories. I know I've told you guys about
Fun
this
stories about the
before.
shop. There's some stories I think it
Sometimes,
might be time to tell.
sometimes it'll just be about, like what,
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah,
but I mean, yeah, Yeah, I can see actually some really good titles that may garner some viewership.
What's one?
I'm not telling you.
Oh,
Well, I'll tell
would
you
you tell me?
later. But
Okay, okay,
no, I'm never telling you. You're gonna have to guess. They are
okay,
so good. Oh,
okay,
tough shit. Um, yeah, yeah.
okay. Well, let me know what you guys think, and until Sunday, I hope that you have a great weekend and try to stay cool. It is hotter than bug dust, as my great grandmother used to say. Do you
Hmm.
know that? I knew my great
Hmm.
grandmother for 13 years. Anyway,
Well, there you go. I'm looking
uh,
forward to the heat.
it's definitely nice, especially if you have a pool or pond.
Pond to be good for me.
All right, you guys. Well, we'll see you on Sunday, and until then, have a great weekend, and we'll catch y'all then.
See ya.